It's stage 3 of the Argentina-Chile Dakar for 2010 as we move from La Rioja on towards Fiambala. A long road section, 259 kilometers before the stage itself. Actually not that long at only 182, that's 113 miles straight into the bivouac at Fiambala. Much better scenes at the start of this stage 3 than the one 24 hours earlier. The rain had gone on and the conditions really were quite African. Down there in the fesh of the dry rivers, one of the quads ran into problems and he was immediately in real big problems. The medical crews, though, tending to him, and as you can see, no better medical attention in such a remote part of the world. Also a massive problem for Jordi Villadoms, the Spaniard who is Marc Coma's teammate on the Red Bull KTM squad. He fell off and he was complaining of a back problem, back pain, so immediately he was helicoptered out. And that's big news because now Marc Coma hasn't got a water carrier. He's got nobody to prop him up from underneath. Coma, well, he was playing at even Stevens. He was actually running into problems with his bike, even though he managed to catch David Casteu on the stage. So that's for a couple of minutes. So Coma is up there. But remember that Coma in the overall standings, he started the day 22 minutes and 37 seconds behind the overall leader. But then the drama began to unfold. Coma having problems with the bike overheating, and because hot engines never want to start, that's exactly what was going on. David Casteu came over to offer Coma some help at one point. And he gives it one more push to try and push some fuel through. Obviously the fuel's vaporizing, so try and get a bit of liquid in there rather than gas. Fingers crossed, and it fires. So Coma managing to get going, but that problem has cost him 21 minutes. So whilst Coma and Casteu were having problems, what about number 2, the two-time winner of the Dakar in the past, Frenchman Cyril Despres? Again on exactly the same kind of motorbike as Marc Coma, so would he run into problems? Certainly not for Despres. He was victorious on the stage, winning it by over 10 minutes. Helder Rodrigues was chasing Cyril Despres on the stage hard, and he was those 10 minutes back of the Frenchman. So Rodrigues has now slotted himself up to 3rd in the overall standings, whilst Despres heads it tonight. But what of the man who was victorious yesterday? Drama befalling another rider in the shape of David Frétinier with his Yamaha. He lost nearly 2 hours today with a problem on the Yamaha. It's unusual to see the Yamaha run into such technical problems, but Frétinier had those problems down towards Fiambala. Third stage, and a victorious one for Cyril Despres ahead of Rodrigues, Goncalves, Casteu and Lopez there in 5th position. Look at that lead that Cyril Despres has now got. It's just over 10 minutes from Casteu, Rodrigues, Luca Manca and Alain Duclos.
C'est une de ces étapes où tu pars le matin,
saying it's one of those stages when you start in the morning and you say 182 kilometers, it should be easy. But it was 3 hours fighting on the bike. A real African stage. Physically hard with the heat and a lot of soft sand. We had to preserve the bike, which suffered in the first part of the stage. And then over the last 80 kilometers, I preserved the engine, so I was riding quite easily. But that's the way rally raiding is. Now then, let's catch up with Frétinier. Honestly, he says, I don't know what happened. I opened everything on the bike, took everything apart. I even had a spare ECU and changed that, and it still didn't work. No spark, no battery. I changed the fuses, checked the wiring harness, all the kind of things that you do when you're training to be a mechanic. After about an hour and 40 minutes, my friend Etienne Lorman helped me. I was fed up at the time, so I was happy he stopped to help me in the middle of the dunes. A bad day, but never mind.